Yes, people, how is everyone doing? Yeah, straight off the bat, don't do a master's degree at university. If anyone was thinking that, that is crazy, don't do it. It's horrible. But anyway, the game yesterday, another win for Leeds United, and we are now on incredible form. Don't get it wrong. Don't underestimate the power of winning football games constantly. There's a lot of talk about performance, and I've seen differing opinions online. Some people saying they were the better side. Some people were saying we weren't good. I just want to mention something before I get into player ins real quick about that. It's interesting when people say that, and I understand, I guess, where that's coming from. But in terms of expectation, although you expect Leeds United to go to the Premier League, that doesn't mean Leeds United can dominate 90 minutes of a football game every week. That doesn't mean Leeds United can win every game 6-0. And that doesn't mean teams find a way to get through your midfield or get through your press or get chances. People are acting like, some people, not all obviously, some people are acting like we're playing against planks of wood every week. The reality of the situation is teams playing against us know they don't have the individual quality to beat us like we do have. We know we have that to lay back on. So they rely purely on, of course, individuals, but individuals in a game plan to beat us. We rely more on our style with our individual players who have that quality. Whereas other teams in this league who don't have the financials that we have rely on a style, on a game plan, specifically for us. Obviously implementing their style, but in a different way into a game plan. And that was shown at Blackburn. I said before the game, Blackburn are a type of team who will find a way through. It's not that they're not outrunning our midfield. It's not outrunning. It's not a matter of outrunning. It's a matter of creating movements and creating rotations which allow space in midfield. Because when we press higher, when we step higher, naturally we have two in midfield. Whereas a team can just drop another one in there. So this is about how we react to that when teams do that. You don't want to change the way we play too much to adapt to Blackburn, right? So when they do have an extra one in midfield and it looks like we're overrun, actually what we are doing is sitting back and getting in defensive shape. So even if they do overload that area, they're not coming through the middle. And we did that against Blackburn. We made them go out wide each time. Cross in the box, dealt with, counter. That's what I mean. We're not being stupid in the sense that we're going man for man in midfield or we're putting an extra one in midfield because then that'll exploit them out wide. And when they do get out wide, then we'll be exploited. So we're playing the way we play. We know we can maintain a block from crosses. Their best player, Modix, who's been outstanding this season, had nothing in that game. Their strikers, their wingers, all they had to do was cross it in from deep. Nothing came from it. They didn't create hardly any chances. And although they got through certain areas of the pitch, we allowed that at times because we knew we had the quality in our shape in defence to maintain them, which we did to a good extent. Mesley had 2 saves to make. I believe both came from set pieces or a cross. We were fine. I was calm, I was relaxed. You can't expect us to have 90% possession, 13 shots on goal and score 6 every game. Don't work like that. You'd be playing against a team of professionals that have reached the top, against good managers who have big ideas. You're never going to dominate a 9. Look at Leicester. Watch Leicester. They keep the ball in possession, but teams allow that. Their main trick is breaking teams down. Whatever it's called. Mantra is to break teams down. They haven't created enough chances as they should. They scored 4 the other day. In other games, they don't. They don't create big chances. It takes them a while. All teams have these aspects. Ipswich score loads of goals. They also concede a lot. It's about maintaining that balance and maintaining your style as well as understanding what the opposition can bring. So I just want to get onto that. It's not negative. It's not bad. Of course there's improvements. Of course there is. There always is. It's football. It'd be boring if it wasn't. We're not going to win every game 6-0 and dominate every team. It doesn't work like that. We're not playing Sunday League sides. People need to understand that. Yes, we've come down from the Premier League, but we know we're near good enough for the Premier League. Hence why we're not in there. We've lost loads of players. This is our level now. And every game is 50-50 because you're competing with every team. So yeah, just thought I'd mention that because I'm seeing some... It's not the people that are suggesting things, it's people saying we played bad or they played better. I disagree personally. Yeah, the player ratings. Start with the goalkeeper. Ilan Meslier, our number one goalkeeper, our GK, had 2 saves to make yesterday and made them both. Distribution was decent. You know, people complain about distribution. I've said this before and I'll keep saying it. It's part of the system. It's the way you play. If a midfielder or the rotation in midfield hasn't worked and a midfielder is slow to show for the ball, that's not on the goalkeeper. That's what he's been told to do. Wait and delay until the option is there, because then you're inviting the press in the midfield and then it's a pass out to the fullback and we're through. We've seen that loads of times. So when he's delaying on the ball, he's waiting for that. Because we know we don't set up for a long ball. So if it has to come to the long ball, they're going to win it. They'll win it and then they'll have the ball and they're running at us. So the distribution, when it doesn't work, where it hesitates, is down to the options. It's down to the people moving around him. He had everything to do yesterday and he was fine with it. So give him a 7. Good game from Ilan Meslier. My head. Fullbacks. Probably not one of the most aggressive games for fullbacks, I don't think. I don't think they had loads to do, and that's down to us. You know, we nullified Blackburn a lot of the times, and there weren't a lot of kind of 1v1s. I think, again, early in the game, they did create some moments against Archie Gray, but this was dependent on how wide they were, because in the first half, their left winger was extremely wide during attacks, and Archie Gray couldn't fully commit to going to mark him, because then the space would be too stretched, basically. So he had to find a kind of a half and half to actually go towards him, engage him, but not to a point where he's touch tight, because he simply, there'd be too much space in and around him. So again, it's about that thing that I said, where we kind of allowed crosses into the box because we know we had the numbers to deal with it, and that's what happened a lot of Archie Gray. Having said that, when he came forward and when he was on the ball again, he was excellent. He got an assist. It's good to see a young lad like Archie Gray. It's like his first assist for Leeds United, I think it is. Unbelievable. Great movement. Great run. Great way to pass for Crescencio Samuel as well. Yeah, forever growing and forever developing his game. Well done. Excellent. So Byram, unfortunate with the injury. Again, frustrating. Ever showing the lack of depth we have in that left-back position of just players that fit. It's terrible. There's always one injured. There's never depth there. Yeah, I thought it was fine. Again, 1v1 battles. Again, not a lot came through him. He didn't have a lot to do in the game. It's fairly quiet, hence the 6.5. Archie Gray went slightly higher just because of the assists. Centre-backs. Now, there's not a lot of high marks in this. A lot of 6s. But these two are excellent. And it comes back down to how Blackburn played and how naturally, and I mentioned this before, they had the most touches in opposition box in the league before yesterday's game. In the league. So we identified that as a threat. And what we did was, we packed the edge of the box well, whether it was with pressure, whether it was pressure in numbers, whether it was whatever. We won everything in there. There was not really any time they got through, maybe once. It never led to goal, really. Those two are excellent, and those two are a big part of that. Their positional play, their communication, their recovery, and their just being in the right place at the right time. Not only that, though, dealing with it when they were in those positions. I thought those two were brilliant at it. Ball distribution was good again, finding the midfielder, finding the spare man. I was very impressed with these two. And these two are an outstanding partnership. And I think a lot of times where we concede cheap goals, I think it's down to the shape and not necessarily the individuals in that shape. I don't think you can blame these two for any of it, personally, apart from maybe one or two where they were mistakes. But these two have been brilliant for me. And you've got to remember, it's a new partnership. They didn't know each other before this season. They're really developing into a partnership now. And it takes a while, defensive partnerships. There's a lot of different things you need to prepare for, where the wingers are going to come, where the runs are going to come from in behind, which runner's going to run, who goes where, how apart you should be, how far you drop. There's a lot of things. And they're getting there, and it's becoming more natural, and they're understanding the roles better, and they're getting better and better for me. Good to see Pascal back after his hernia. I mean, back as in back to his best self. Very impressed with both of them, to be honest with you. Yeah, good games from them too. Good games. Midfield. Again, about the overrun stuff. Again, you have to apply context to that. I don't think they were overrun as individuals. I don't think 1v1 they were overrun. I think it's when we stretched, as in when we didn't manage to initiate the press successfully. Then there's obviously gaps in midfield because we play over 4, right? The Peros goes a lot higher. So you've got 2. 2v2 in there, and then they just bring a fullback in there, or they just bring a striker in there, or they just bring anyone they want in there, it's an overload, right? Unless your fullback's tuck in, which ours don't to that extent, man for man. They stay in their position. So it's, yeah, man for man, I don't think they have a problem. I think they won a lot of duels in there when it was 1-for-1. I think together, they're working together well. Although there is little gaps at times. I don't know if that's system-based or individual-based. I suggest that's system-based. But them two are excellent overall for me this season. People think Kamara had a bad game. I don't agree on a bad game. I think the standard we're looking at is everything has to be perfect. It wasn't his best game. He did lose the ball twice in dangerous areas, which is rare for him. He honestly rarely does that. Yeah, he rarely loses the ball. Never mind in dangerous areas, and he did lose it twice in dangerous areas, which is unlike him, hence the 6. But when he's actually going forward on the ball, the position he picked up is the same. That's part of his game. Just those little concentration moments, communication at times yesterday were a bit off. But that's fine. You're not going to be an 8 or 9 every game. You're going to have games where you're a 6 or 5. Learn from that, understand why that happened, and move on to next week. Ampadu was decent again. I thought he was better than the other day. Got a bit more of himself, a bit more calmness on the ball. Put in a challenge, didn't lose many challenges. Got a yellow card, which you don't mind because it's the right type of challenges in the right areas to stop breaks, to stop attacks. So 6 and 7, respectively, for these two guys. These two are interesting. It's these two again. You look at the score sheet, who is it? These two again. Cree did have a quiet game for his standards. You also got to take in consideration what Farke said about the lack of training he's had this week due to a slight injury. So obviously you could tell in the performance he was 1 or 2 training days off, fully match fit. You could tell that. Having said that, it was fine. I don't think it's the fact that he lost the ball. I think it was the fact that he just wanted positive with it, as he usually is. And that's down to Blackburn again. They did double up on him. They didn't allow space behind them, especially for the first half. It was hard for him to kind of build into that. But what he did do, when he did have the ball, he realised that, and if he's not quite there, you just give the ball. Give the ball to midfield, and we rotated it. It was a quieter game for Korea, a different type of game. But he's on the score sheet again. Finds space, and he holds his width so well, and that's underrated for a winger. Understanding how close you need to be to that fullback, but also understanding how effective you are in that position compared to where the goal is. And you saw for that second goal, he held his run right. He wasn't too wide. He wasn't close enough to the fullback. He was in a great position to take a touch and chip the goalkeeper. And that's what he's got. That's what the best players do. There is games where even the best players don't have the best games, or they're not effective in games as they usually are. They always pop up. And he did. Dan James again. Was good yesterday. I think we used Dan James more than Cree yesterday in the build-up, which is rare. Again, that might down to Cree just not being 100% match fit. I know people say, why did you play him? Because he's the best player in the league, and you still got a goal out of him, and you still got what you needed at the end of the day. Dan James is brilliant. What can I say? Especially the first half, I thought he was so effective on the ball. Took people on, he dribbled well, he picked the right pass, and then we've seen rewards. Guess a goal. Good finish as well. Hard and low, cross the goalkeeper, side netting, you don't save them. I did a video on Cree the other day. Got to consider Dan James. Different types of players. Again, not as easy on the eye as Cree. The way Cree just glides. Dan James is getting really effective now in this season. He's having less chances a game. Those chances are going in more. The conversion rate's going up. Really effective. That's what good coaching does. That's what a manager who identifies a player he wants, and because he said he wanted him at Norwich, that's a player he wanted, and he's playing him in the position he wants him to play, and he's playing well. And that's why you don't. If a manager wants a player, trust. Doesn't always work, but this is a situation where it is with Dan James, and his numbers are going up and up, and he's playing a lot better each week. Probably could have given more. These two guys, just quickly on Perot again. Again, one of them games, it's a bit silent. I was speaking in a group chat about this, and just one observation. It's just an observation. When I'm watching Perot, maybe this is obvious, but when we do counter or when we do move forward, Perot is visibly slower than everyone around him. And I mean, obviously, so he's got around, he's got Jorginho, Rutter, Somerville, and Dan James. So naturally, in those areas, for him to be really involved in either the last ball in a counter attack or 2 or 3 passes in a quick build up, he needs to be quicker. And he's not. That's not the player he is. It's hard. That's why it's really hard for him to get involved in so much in the game, because he's just not got that pace that the other players have got. Hence why you see him dropping deeper at times and starting the build up, and then pushing into midfield to be that guy on the edge. And I've said it, he's not the ideal player for this type of system. He isn't. I don't think he is. I don't think he is. It's nothing to do with his ability. His ability is excellent. He's unbelievable in this league. He scores goals. That's what he does. What he's been doing in this league. What, 42 in 2 seasons? Now he's got more. He's 1 in 2 for Leeds. That's what he does. It's about overall 90 being effective and getting him involved more. And that's the issue, because he's not the perfect type of player for this system. He isn't. So that effectiveness is something that constantly Daniel Farke will be trying to realise with all his players. How to get the best out of all of them. Because you could have put Perot in a different position, but maybe that affects Jorginho, Rutter, maybe that affects Somerville. You're trying to get everyone in the right areas of the pitch to be more effective. And I do think there's still work to do in there. It's clear on the ball, he's completely different to everyone else, which is good when you're in certain types of attacks. He's not as involved because of the attributes he has. But yeah, 6th for Joe Perot. Not as involved again. And didn't get the goal this week. Jorginho Rutter, I was thinking with this one, because I don't think it's his best performance, but it's the other side of Jorginho that I keep seeing. And I really like it. I really like the other side of him. That strength, that ox, strong as an ox. You know what I mean? When he came in the Premier League, he was a big lad, but he never looked strong. He didn't look like he could protect the ball well. He is. Even in that assist, great pass to John James, when you kind of think he's lost it, he's just too strong. He's too powerful for that defender. That defender should keep that ball, but he doesn't, because this guy is ridiculously strong. And he wants it, and he's got desire, and he doesn't give up. He does not give up when he loses that ball. He keeps going. That's why a lot of his dribbles come off. Because he just keeps going, he runs, he drives, he's powerful, he's strong. He got another assist, looking confident. Still a lot to go with this guy, still a lot of coaching to do. He's getting there. He's getting there every week. He's showing different areas of his game. We know we've got the all-and-out flair like against Watford, and there'll be times in the season where he's like that. There'll be times in the season where he has to stay higher and be that vocal point, which he was yesterday. Impressed. 7. Talk about these two real quick. There's a lot. I just want to talk about Jed Spence real quick. There's a lot of weird comments online, and if you're one of them, don't do it. I hate footballers that get called lazy. It really frustrates me, because you have to apply so much context to what is going on. One, Jed Spence has not had a pre-season. He didn't have one. He didn't go on the pre-season tour with Tottenham. He wasn't there. He didn't have it. Not only that, and then let's just context what is pre-season. So pre-season is what prepares you match fit, match ready for the games. Not only that, it's a mental thing to get you ready for the game state, the tempo, the aggression of the games. That's what pre-season is for. It's fitness. It's understanding. He had none of that with Leeds. So he's not there. Not only that, when he does come back, almost in the first week of coming to Leeds United, he gets injured for 4 months. Or 3 or 4 months. You can't expect a player to come on after 4 months of injury. Not only that, but 2 weeks after it? And run up the line constantly back and forth. Endlessly. He's not going to have that in him yet. Hence why he only came on because of an injury. He might not have even come on. He wasn't meant to be there. He's not ready yet. And when people say, why is Jed not playing 90 minutes? Because he's not ready yet. He's not fit enough. The tempo in his game's not there yet because he's not played yet. You have to be consistent with it. You have to keep going. It's a long process. You can't just bring players back 2 weeks after a 3 or 4 month knee injury where he's done nothing for months and expect him to be the player that we all think he can be, because he's not going to be. Hence why I keep saying, stop telling Archie Gray should be dropped. Archie Gray is fit, ready, is in game state, is playing well. Jed Spence's time will come. And actually, I thought it was effective in a lot of ways. We showed what he could do, and this is on the other side. Look, he didn't sprint back at times. He's probably knackered. He's not fit enough for 90 yet. He's not. So whether he plays midweek, I don't know. That'll be an interesting one. It will be. We'll see how he does in training. You know, now he's had them first minutes in his legs, he might understand. He might be ready, he might be raring to go. It takes time, people. It's not training. It's matches. The adrenaline, the situation, the scenario is completely different. So people need to chill out on that. I've seen some wild takes. Just relax, man. Will not know came on and did well. Again, kept his width, had a shot, should have gone in. Good save, hit the bar, mental. Yeah, good sub for Will Nonto, getting a bit sharpness now. Starting to show more of what we know he can do, which is good. We need that from Will Nonto. And finally, I just want to talk about this young lad real quick. Mateo Joseph. Wasn't a long, he got what, 15 minutes with the added time? Wasn't a long game. But you have to judge a player on what you see in small minutes. So this is his first championship game this season due to injury. And we saw him in pre-season and what he's capable of and what he can do. He's a good player. But we didn't see it this season because of injury, setbacks, just maybe getting up to the level, you know, whatever it is, it's fine. But he came on yesterday and did exactly what he should have done. I mean, he got booted in the first 30 seconds. I saw him when he run past the guy tried to leg him up. And then he got fouled straight after it. Getting in players' heads, he's getting in defenders' heads. He's not coming on being this shy young man. He's coming out like a lion. Running at players, holding the ball up successfully against big, experienced championship defenders. Holding the ball up, holding them behind him. Winning fouls. Laying the ball off, running with it at times. Confidence, his movement was good, his aggression was good, his pressing was good. It's a small sample size and there's a lot to go for Mateo Joseph. But what he's shown in the short period of times in games, when you need that type of player to come on and provide energy, hold up play, confidence, he's showing that he can at least develop into that player as an overall entity. Because that small period that he came on, he was so effective in what he did. And it's the mentality side of him that I've always liked. I remember when he came into Leeds, and I've said this, and I'm honest, what all I really saw at that time, when I used to watch 23s every game, I used to watch when they were on, you could watch them back in the day, you can't anymore as much. He was a poacher, he was a finisher. That's what he did. He'd run the line still, yeah. But his main thing was between the box, in between there, poacher, finisher. And when I saw him in pre-season, I saw a lad who playing on the wing, but he's running at people, he's committing people, he's winning fouls, he's being confident on the ball, he's running forward with it, showing good passing range, showing good crossing range, showing good shooting range. That's a player that wants to develop, that's a player that wants to learn, and that is such an underrated asset for a young player. Willing to learn, willing to play other positions, willing to be a target man now, willing to hold the ball up. Development, passion, desire, wanting to get to the top. These are all aspects of what Mateo Joseph has shown as a young player. Let's see how he develops. Let's see how he trains. He needs to keep going. He needs to keep pushing the mark. He needs to keep saying to Daniel Farke, look, I can do it. That'll take time. That'll take patience. But eventually Daniel Farke will recognise it and he'll know the right times to throw him in because you can't just keep throwing him in. Has to be the right time. Has to be the right game state. You know, the right time will come and he'll keep progressing. He'll keep getting better. And I believe in him because I just like his mentality. If anything, I like his mentality. He's a great asset to the team now. Excellent to see. I hope he keeps developing because he's a top player. That's it, people. That's it. We don't need to over-exaggerate situations. We're winning games. I don't care about Leicester and Ipswich in the sense that they can keep winning. I'm not going to be in a mood because they've won. We're winning games every week. What else do you want in football? Right? That's all you want. You want to see your team winning. Everyone says it. You want to see your team winning. I'm a performance analyst. I like to see a good performance. It's entertainment. Enjoy it. I want to pay money to watch wins. If I want to see people just win, I'll just look on the scores. I want to watch it and enjoy it as well. And we're getting that in time. We're winning games. We're in a good place. I don't care about the other two. Stop looking at them. Enjoy. We've not won in 2 years. Enjoy this season. Just enjoy it. Or you'll never be happy. Because we're not going to win as many games in a season if we do go up for years and years and years. And if we don't go up, we enjoyed it. We'll do it next year. Just relax. Enjoy this season. Just have fun with it. Because at the end of the day, we'll go up or we won't. It's as simple as that. We can win, 30 odd games in a season and not be happy every week because this team are winning. I don't care. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Let's enjoy the season. We're winning football games. It's great to see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I appreciate all the support as usual. I'm going to go back to doing my uni work.